away from it. What did you see out there?
Yeah, we got off to a really slow start against that team, and I felt like we hung tough in that first half, kind of switched the momentum a little bit towards the end of the half, and then just we weren't able to be consistent enough in all three phases today, and they were able to really take the momentum of the game and run with it. I thought defensively they played outstanding. Wink had a really good game plan, and you got to give credit to their coaches. I felt like in special teams, they won the field position battle, and I felt like on offensively they did enough when they needed to, and so we were never able to get control of the game. And you got to give credit to Baltimore because they definitely earned the win.
How do you feel like your run defense performed today?
I felt like that's a really good running football team, and I felt like when you factor in Lamar and what he brings to the game, that's just a really prolific rushing attack. I felt like at times we played well. I thought at times we were a little uneven. We didn't give up any explosive runs in the game. I feel like our edges were pretty secure. They really threaten your leverage with all the jet motion, all the different personnel groupings. And I felt like we gave ourselves a chance in the game, but it wasn't a clean enough plan for our guys. And I need to do a better job coaching to give us the chance to win.
Brandon, how do you think that Justin Herbert performed today?
Yeah, no, in a game like that, where it gets away from you a little bit, I think you can tell a lot about your quarterback. I thought he was strong with the ball. I thought he took care of it. I really liked the pass that he threw to Jared on the interception. I thought it was really good ball location. I thought he was strong. The pockets were tight. There was a lot of pressure. And I thought he hung tough. And, we need to do a better job playing around him. Those guys did a good job covering today. And I felt like, they had a good pressure plan. But, Justin, I thought hung tough and gave us a chance.
That was the first fourth down you guys hadn't converted except for the big punt.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, definitely. Just the way the game was going, and the down and distance. I think both of the all those ones we would definitely do again. The short ones. I think the 2 and the 1 just didn't execute well enough on that play. We had matchups, and you got to give credit to them. They won their matchups. We liked the play calls, and it just didn't go our way today.
The offense seemed really out of rhythm. What do you diagnose sort of as the issue there? Is it just a good game plan from with Martindale? Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I thought they had a good game plan. I felt like early in the game we weren't able to get on schedule, and felt like we put ourselves into some third downs where their package really expresses itself. They're a fantastic third down team, just in terms of how they pressure and who they're covering with. They've got a lot of good rushers, and they've got a lot of good blitzers. They come from a lot of different places. So just in that first half, we started out with 3 punts, and then now we're driving, and then there's an interception. And then on defense, we just didn't get them enough possessions either. We didn't get them enough turns in the first half. And I feel like it was just one of those games where we were a little off in all 3 phases. And you got to give credit to Baltimore because they had a lot to do with it.
In the second, fourth down, you guys were dedicated 19. Was that one, I don't want to say desperate, where you're just maybe trying to get some momentum, and at that point you're saying, we got to do something. We got to try to get something started here.
No, not desperate. Just that we, again, like the down and distance, like the matchup, and then we needed to get something going. That wasn't the entire motive. Certainly part of it. And they covered us up a couple times, and we were just a little bit off. And like I said, give credit to them because they earned it.
Brandon, go ahead. Brandon, are you okay with Justin going or with your receiver and not throw better on Keenan? Was it a bad throw overall?
Yeah, I mean, it's a play that's designed against man-to-man, and feel like Josh is a receiver that can definitely win. It's a longer throw to the field to Keenan on that particular route, on a stop route. So, I mean, he can go either way with it. I'm always going to trust Justin's judgment, and we got to make sure that we're physical on the outside and that we're strong with the ball, and that our ball location's where it needs to be. But I'm definitely good with the decision. Justin, he knew what the coverage was, and he felt like he went to the best matchup for him at that moment, and we're going to continue to trust him in those situations.
On a broader level, any concern with Keenan not getting targeted there for almost more than half of the game? Is that any concern there? Is just sort of how the game unfolded?
Yeah, I mean, listen, our offense is driven to get our guys the ball, and there was a ton of stuff in the plan for Keenan, a ton of it, and sometimes whether it's a pressure look or whether it's a coverage, the ball didn't go there early, and we certainly want to get him the ball whenever we can because he's so He's so dynamic, and it was just one of those plans where it just didn't go well for us today. And Keenan Allen is at the first thought of all of our game planning process, and we'll do a better job of getting him into rhythm too, because you have to do that. You got to get your guys the ball early in the game.
How about second half? He came out and got that 47-yard return right away. How much did that just deflate?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to defend that quarterback on a short field, and you don't want to defend that kicker on a short field. So our coverage units were not good enough today. They've got an outstanding special teams unit. They've done a really good job building their team, and you can tell that a big part of that, the team building process and the way John and Ozzie and Eric do it is they have fantastic core special teams players. And so, I think we learned a lot today about where we need to go because you can't defend them on short fields. It's hard enough to defend them when you're on a long field. So I feel like our defense did a really good job there after the first quarter of hanging in there, in the second quarter and then the third quarter. And I feel like after those first two drives, I felt like we played good enough defense, because that's a really good offensive team. And but again, we got to do a better job defensively with our guys, giving them a better plan, and in all three phases really. But I don't want to take anything away from Baltimore because they were fantastic today. Coming off that win on Monday, short week, they were ready to play, and they earned the win today.
Looked like Devon Campbell was working in there for Michael Davis.
Mm-hmm.
At points, was that part of the game plan, or just was Michael benched?
Yeah, part of the game plan. We feel like TC's earned an opportunity, and feel like he gives us something out there, and we kind of feel like that a rotation between Asante, Mike, and Tavon is healthy for our team, and so that was the motive, and we're going to continue to do that as the season goes on.
You brought up the idea of there being illusions in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that this game was the illusion that you're a better football team than you showed today? Or do you think that this game maybe showed some of the illusions that existed in other games?
I mean, I think that where we're at, I think we lost to a really good team today. I think that is a perennial division champion, a perennial playoff team. They've been to the playoffs 13 out of 14 years with John as the head coach. They've won a Super Bowl. This is a championship caliber team. They have an MVP quarterback. So I think that we lost to a good team today on their field, and I think that that's what happened today. They outplayed us and outcoached us today. But I know that we've played 6 really good teams. We're 4-2. We've beat 4 really good teams, and we've lost to 2 really good teams. And that's what I told the team. I think that's where the truth is. And I think where we need to go is we need to learn from this game because there's plenty in this game that we need to learn from. And I think that the bye's coming at a good time for us. Get rested up and then come back and be ready to go against a really good New England team.
Do you think that in the long run this can benefit you guys just because you kind of measure where they are and where they need to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the competition in the first 6 weeks has given us a really accurate look of where we can go as a team. I think that in our 2 losses, the 2 losses that we had are to 2 really quality football teams, and I think that in both of those losses we can learn something from why it happened, and then I think that in those 4 wins we can learn why that happened, and I think that what today was about for me is we weren't good enough in all 3 phases. We got beat today by a team, and that's why the score was the way it was. It's because in all 3 phases of the game, they beat us. And I think that that's what we can learn from it, is that we have to execute better. Our guys are playing plenty hard enough, and we're a team, but they beat us today. They out-executed our guys and our coaches, and we need to learn from it.
There's a lot of young guys. There's a lot of young guys in there on defense. Do you think that that's a benefit going later into the year that these guys at least have a sample size of reps that you guys start to get some healthy bodies on?
Yeah, I was really proud of the way Eamon and Nick played in there at linebacker. Their first game action. It's a great job by Mike Woolhoit getting them ready to play, and that's a team that you're going to learn a lot from playing against. And I felt like it wasn't too big for either of those guys. And we got a lot of young players playing in all phases of the game, and that's just part of the NFL. And I think that the experience that we've gained for really all of our players in these first 6 games has been meaningful because we've played 6 really good teams. And I think that as that's as tough of a stretch as you're going to face to me in the league when you have 5 straight weeks. I mean, really, if you count Washington as a playoff team from last year, I mean, that stretch is a really tough stretch that we just went through. And I felt like we made it through with our heads held high. Today did not go well today, and it happens in the NFL. Sometimes you lose to a team that beats you, but that's what happened to a team. A team beat us today, and we're going to get on that plane, and we're going to learn from it, and we're going to be back for the second half of the season.
What did you see from the running game today?
Not a lot. Not a lot from the running game today. They were physical at the point of attack. I think early we lost early, and then what happens is you get down 2 scores, and we were still, trying to run it. But when time isn't on your side, you're just not going to be able to fully commit to that as a way of coming back. But we need to be better at the point of attack for sure. I think particularly on the edges. And I think that again, we're going to learn a lot from this game that way. But I wouldn't put it on our run game per se, because defensively we didn't get them off to a good enough start where we could truly commit to our plan.
Brandon, Tristan had just another PAT today.
Mm-hmm.
Are your concerns growing there with him?
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern. I mean, it's an extra point, and I just want to make sure that we go back and we really attack his fundamentals. I thought he had a really good week of practice, and I think that so much of this game is confidence. So much of it is confidence, and I think that's where we're at with him, is just establishing his confidence and his rhythm. And I think these next 2 weeks, we'll learn a lot. We're going to go look at the film. Hey, we have 6 games of kicks to learn from, and we'll see where we go with it. But he's got the right stuff mentally, and we need him to bounce back.
In the fourth quarter, I don't know if Mike Williams played. Was that just a precaution?
Yeah. Just when the game's like that, you want to make sure that your guys are safe and sound, and that's what we did on the last drive on defense, and just want to make sure that you're careful with guys and you tip your cap to them, and then you got to keep it moving. Wanted to make sure our guys were safe for the rest of the season.